Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today. I hope everyone had a good weekend. And congratulations to you, Bad Roxy. You finally got the first, and you got it on Kingdom Hearts Day. Yo, let's go indeed. Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts. It's good to see you, Bad Roxy. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you too, Extra Clean and Brayherd Lord. What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say, so let's just go ahead and dive into the game. So last time, we were rudely interrupted by Merlin, and we had to come back and find out about Winnie the Pooh's book, and it is now broken. I blame Merlin. So anyway, let's go to the Coliseum. Turn the game down just a wee bit, because it's going to get loud. The Falcon is squishier, but more maneuverable and more gun. I like gun.
Yo, dummy!
Oh, it's the big boat one. And yes, that is a technical term. Let go of me.
Watch out!
Hey, Alex. Oh, leave me alone, you nerds. I can't believe this ship would bully me like this. Ow. I was just trying to collect the orbs, and you shot at me! How could you do this? Well, that's a lot of enemies. Let go of me. No, let go. No. 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 I don't think I'm gonna destroy the face. Ah, no, it's gonna make it away. Dang it. Ah. You know, hard time. Never really looked at this game after your Wii died. Kingdom Hearts was never on the Wii. It's barely on the Switch. Don't get the Switch version, it's not very good. You lost interest. Well, that's fair. But again, this isn't Nintendo, so unless you're using Nintendo in the colloquialism of all video game stuff. Or console stuff, I guess. Nope. Made by Square Enix. Square Enix and Disney. Originally on the PS2. First time it came to another system was when they started doing the remakes just before 3 came out. They put it onto Xbox and PC. And there is a Switch version, but it's a streamed version. It doesn't run local, so
Are you sure this is the Coliseum?
It's that way.
Oh, guess we were a little off. Heartless!
I mean, streamed games can work if you have the internet for it, but,
Thanks, but I'm fine.
they don't
And
have
you're
very
supposed
good
to be?
servers.
I'm Sora. He's Donald, and that's Goofy. We came to see how Hercules is doing.
You know Wonder Boy?
Yeah, just we're heroes too.
You mean Junior Heroes, Donald?
Begged
Looks
your
like
mom
we have
for
a friend in
PS2.
common. Name's Megara.
Why do you need a second one? You have a
My
perfectly
friends
good
call me
PlayStation. Nintendo never managed to pull together the server hardware or software to make streamed games work. Yeah. Where's Herc? Wonder Boy. Well, he's duking it out at the Coliseum every day. You know, a hero's work is never done and all that. He's ready to drop, but he keeps on fighting. Even Wonder Boy has his limits, though. These opponents are bad news. Special deliveries from Hades himself. Hades? Right, Lord of the Underworld. I was on my way to see him. Maybe I can get Hades to give Wonder Boy a breather. Anything happened to that kid? Gorsh. Sounds like you're more than just friends. Goofy's good at picking up on social cues, apparently. We'll go have a little talk with Hades. I'd hate for anything to happen to you on your way to see him. You really want to do that? Well, looks like you know what you're doing. I guess I'll take you up on that offer. But let's keep this whole chat with Hades thing our little secret, okay? Our lips are sealed. What could possibly go wrong? I hate how this movie portrays Hades, because when you look at Greek mythology, he's certainly better than one. Yeah, I mean... The movie is fun, I do like it, but if you're gonna claim that it's an accurate portrayal of Greek mythology, it's so not. It's just being a good dad is even crazier, yeah? Actually, I wanted to change out what Keyblade Sora is using, because this increases max combo in the air. Damage control is nice, but combo. The organization?
Yeah.
Of course they're here. It's just the definition of it's not mine. Yeah. Couple Disney Hercules, they tried to do Rocky and Superman at the same time, and really the directors were working under duress since the Passion Project was on the line as a reward for making the film. What was the Passion Project? I mean, I will say, the Hercules movie did turn out well. In my opinion. AP boost, that's nice. Treasure Planet. Ah, okay, I didn't know that. Well, that's a shame, because Treasure Planet's great, but, doesn't really have the legacy. Or films like Prince of Egypt. Prince of Egypt slaps. That dog.
Run away!
Bye, Demix.
Okay.
We won't be doing that right now. We'll come back and do those later. What's the deal with this book? Looks like it's called Absent Silhouettes. Are you sure you want to touch that? Can't be too careful in the underworld. You're right. Might be a trap of some sort.
There.
Because we get the opportunity to fight memory data versions of the organization who didn't make it to this game. Sora beat them up once, he'll beat them up again, even if he doesn't remember the first time. Sora has memory issues.
Dig these freaks up. Jeez Louise.
Oh, they're nothing but trouble, the whole lot of them. So, what are you gonna do about Hercules? He's made mincemeat out of every fighter you sent at him. Pretty soon, the underworld's gonna be standing room only. Say, why don't you just pick somebody already dead and save him the trouble?
Dead. Dead is good. And I know just the warrior.
Ah, the Divine Office. Let me get through this cutscene and then I will explain.
I'm scared too, Donald.
Hades, come out!
I'll be right back. I have props. So the Divine Office is another name for Liturgy of the Hours. So it is a set of prayers. It's in a 4-week cycle, so there's like morning prayer, midday prayer, evening prayer, night prayer, and each of them has a set of psalms that go with it, and it's in a 4-week rotation. In that 4 weeks, you will go through all 150 psalms, asterisks, because there's a few missing or edited short. There are also 4 volumes. This is book Well, the spine is pretty worn. I literally can't read it anymore. I think... Oh, that actually looks pretty good in the light there. To me, I can barely read it. I think this is number 4. Yeah, this is number 4. So, like, they also have the liturgical year in them. And so it's a way that the church has been praying for centuries, and it's a way of sort of sanctifying time itself, that we mark the passage of time with prayer. So you'll most commonly see this prayed in monasteries. So if you ever go to a monastery, you'll see that you'll have like their schedule and of the divine office. They'll be like, well, lauds or morning prayer will be at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or whatever. But you can do it on your own or with others, wherever, whenever. And there's a great app called iBreviary, which will always have the right prayers for you for the day. So that's the divine office. It's Liturgy of the Hours. It's a way of the church continually praying and marking the passage of time. Here, I'll put it in chat. And personally, my recommendation to anyone who's just starting doing Liturgy of the Hours, don't try to do it all at once. It's okay to just pick one and say, well, I'm going to start here. I'm going to try and do this every day as best as I can, and then I'll get better and better at doing it. And when I've gotten that down, then I can add another, Set yourself up for success. You are most welcome. I don't entirely know why, but if I had guessed, I'd imagine the sense of office not meaning like a physical office like mine, but more like a duty.
What's
So,
down there?
I have the office of...
Just the underworld's deepest dungeon.
X.
This time I'm bringing out the mother of all bad guys.
You don't say. Well, maybe I should go.
If you try to live under monastic discipline and don't live in a monastic community, you're likely to burn yourself out. Yeah. Especially if you're not used, like if you dive head first into the deep end.
Let's cut to the chase. Here's the deal I'm gonna offer you. I let you out of the slammer. No strings. You'll be free as a bird. And all for one little job. Fight Hercules in the Colosseum to the death.
The mother of all bad guys is a Final Fantasy side character? Okay, well, two things. He's
This
not a
is
side
my
character. He's a
story.
main character.
And you're not part of it.
And his game came out around the same time
Did
as
you
Kingdom Hearts 2,
forget
so
who
they
you're talking
were doing
to?
that whole
I am
free
the
advertising
Lord of the
thing.
Dead.
No wonder no one wants to die.
You are fired!
Ha! Hades fired.
Hades!
You again?
Fight!
Okay, random dude with a sword.
Get up!
That's it. That's it.
Oh no, my attacks are ineffective. Why could that be? That attacking Hades in the realm of Hades.
I feel kind of funny.
That's right. See, that's the thing. In the underworld, heroes are zeros. Comes with the territory. Go now.
But I've got to talk to Hades.
What was that?
Can't fight him here. We have to go. Now!
I thought we were gonna leave Donald behind. That would have been bad.
Has he gone?
Don't count on it.
Huh? Oh!
Leaving so soon? That's it. Farewell.
No. Nope. No. No, we can't deal with 80s. We just run. What if I didn't take that?
Know your place. Your pain shall be twofold.
I like that we have this overly complicated animation attack and Hades is still just like, feel the heat. Well, yeah. No, that's not actually what I wanted to do, but oh well. Makes sense of it. Trying to stay.
Your pain shall be twofold.
Stay left. Great thing to do. Culinary is or will be, so if you're looking for spiritual practices to be different, hey, that's a great thing to do. That is, you are doing exactly the right thing on that. You're on the right path. So.
Take that.
Yeah, if you can't participate sort of in those ways, it's good to find other ways, so.
You're really good. Are you some kind of hero?
No, I'm no hero. I'm just an
Huh?
Orin.
Whoa.
Feel the heat.
My name.
I'm Sora.
Donald.
Goofy!
I can see that.
It seems we were fated to meet. Maybe you need a guardian.
Guardian? Thanks, but no thanks.
No, I'm not going to go summon something that's going to destroy the world. Oh, sorry. Spoilers for Final Fantasy X.
I got Heartless all over the underworld now, so you can leave those pipsqueaks to me. Look, pal, you just keep working on turning Hercules into a Heartless, then he'll be all mine.
This is my underworld, you idiot! I'll handle this myself!
You're handling it great so far.
Cerberus, go!
Who's a good boy?
Take this.
not what I meant to, but we live here now.
Your pain shall be twofold.
Use up all of my MP. No big deal.
Farewell.
Back off! Back off!
Time you think of Cerberus, certain characters I think of Dante's Inferno. Oh, two. I've never read Dante's Inferno, but I'm aware of much of its content. But just the phrase "poke to." Would that make it the ordination to papacy pipeline?
Back off! Yeah! This is it! Yeah! Back off!
Farewell.
Yeah!
Farewell.
Back off!
It's free XP.
This is it!
Hey, I know you're going through it, but how are things in Florence? That's a mood.
What? It's closed.
It's got a book.
Come on! Open!
Ah,
I know you're experiencing immense suffering, but
that open
how are
it?
the turnips this year?
Yeah, I think so.
Hurry!
Sora wins.
Sora, why? And this is why I like Air Combo Plus. Because most bosses are big. And therefore you're doing air combos. But you're also faster than ground combos. So. Isn't Pangloss from Candy, not Dante's Inferno, Step Hero?
Yeah!
Oh, Wendigoon. He has a really nice video on the Mystery Flesh Pit, which that's a sentence.
Yeah!
Farewell.
encounter card. Always Florence sound like the end of Candy. That's fair.
Come on, Wonder Boy, play hooky for a day. For old time's sake.
They came to see me. They came to see a hero. I can't let them down. Don't worry, Meg. I'll be fine. What does a hero need rest for, huh?
To recuperate?
See ya.
To not burn out? Be sensible?
Sora, don't let me down.
Huh? What happened to Oron? He can take care of himself. Let's go find Meg. Then we can try this again. I don't know, you seemed pretty concerned about Oron a moment ago.
Let me see if I've got this right. That brat's Keyblade works on any lock.
That's right.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten about that one.
Have I ever told you about the killer coliseum we have right here in the underworld? It makes the one upstairs look like an Olympic kiddie pool.
Then that's the place we're gonna put an end to Herc the Jerk's winning streak.
Problem, Zeus locked it tight.
Oh,
I think we should have Olympic kiddie pools. Like, imagine
Bingo.
running through a
All we
kiddie
gotta
pool
do is
the
swipe that
length of
key,
an Olympic
and then
pool.
we
That'd
open
be
the
smart.
Underdome.
hate to tell you, but that key is kinda particular. It won't work for just anybody, and that kid ain't no pushover.
I think this calls for a woman's touch.
Hey, Mel. It is a nice hoodie. Gosh, this sure does bring back memories. Well, I mean, to you guys, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Sora! Donald! Goofy! When'd you get here?
Hey, Herc.
Howdy there.
No one answers
You on
his
another
question.
adventure?
Yeah, tracking down some friends, wiping out some Heartless.
Junior hero's always busy.
You know it.
So, did you find those friends of yours? Yeah, but we lost them again? So, still working on it. When we got here, we ran into Meg. Mega trouble, I mean. So, we had to help somebody out. We tried to teach Hades a things or two, but the underworld drains away all our strength. Don't suppose you have any ideas. Well, there's a stone that guards against the underworld's curse. Gods on Mount Olympus use it whenever they have to go down there. Think we could use it? Sure, why not? I'll go get it for you. Thanks! Real nice of you. The Hades no pushover, even if you got the Olympus stone. I've got a match today, so I can't go with you. Know what you need? Training. Why don't you go talk to Phil? Oh boy, training. Hey, good idea. This is where Phil tells us to get on the Hydra's back.
Hey, champ. How you feeling? Better rest up for tomorrow's match. Nobody's gonna pay to see a worn-out hero. Gabish? Remember what I told you. Victory in the games comes down to two simple words. Eat, bathe, sleep. Huh? Hey, if it ain't the Junior Heroes.
Looking good, Phil.
Never better. How you guys been? Have you earned your true hero wings yet?
Well, we saved the universe.
Nope, you ain't got what it takes.
What?
So, what's up?
You three are gonna take on Hades? What's so funny? You got nerve. I like that. Hey, you never know. Stranger things have happened, right? Better get cracking, boys. So you want to train, eh? All right. Good. Work you hard. Orbs! Did we mention this game likes orbs? Why do you wish it was a lower third on the screen, Mel? If anyone's enjoying this playthrough and wants to try Kingdom Hearts game for themselves, Square Enix Lunar New Year sale just starts. They discounted the Steam and Humble Bundle. Nice. How was that? It ain't over yet, kid. There's more on the menu. You can relax once all your training is finished. Yeah, no problem. Well, if I didn't already own it all on PlayStation 4 and PC, I have a small problem. No, I just got Jersey Italian Zaner. What more do you want? What's wrong with Jersey Italian? They make great sandwiches. Can you imagine the kind of sandwiches that Phil actually is able to make?
Yeah. Yeah.
God, Jersey. I mean, that's valid.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my Jersey viewers. You are valid. Listen, I gotta take off for a bit. Where to? None of your beeswax. Yeah, probably don't want to know anyway. Sorry, guys. The Olympus Stone's been stolen. By who? We don't know who did it yet. All we're sure of is the guy in a black hooded cloak. But he had accomplices, a bunch of creatures in white. The organization. Someone you know? I think so. Hey, if we get the Olympus Stone back, can we borrow it for a while? Sure. By the way, have you seen Mega Round, have you? Oh, okay.
What's wrong, your hero-ness? Feeling under the weather? You know, I thought staying in perfect shape was part
Hey,
of the
little cheesy.
hero job description. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, right. Hades, we gotta talk.
I came to share a bit of mildly interesting news. Seems your dear, sweet little nutmeg went and got herself lost in the underworld.
You mean you kidnapped her?
Well, maybe. But why get caught up in the details? You can't leave now. Okay, you've got a very important match today against, the bloodthirsty Hydra! I mean, if you don't stick around, who knows what kind of accidents might happen.
Yeah, accidents you cause.
Like I said, details. Who needs them?
You're just a coward.
Ah, well, can't all be heroes.
Can you handle this?
You got it. We're heroes.
Junior heroes, Donald.
You take care of the
Oh,
Hydra.
technicalities.
We'll
Goofy.
handle
We already
the
learned
rest.
those aren't needed.
I'm counting on
Hades
you.
said so.
You gotta find Meg.
Tell Goofy to get some confidence. Problem is, I think Goofy's got too much confidence. Phil! Why are you in the underworld? Oh. What happened? I spotted this strange guy all dressed in black and chased after him and turned on me. Next thing I know, I'm seeing stars. All dressed in black? He's the one who sold the Olympus Stone. Okay, well, that's not necessarily true. Where did he run off to? Yeah, to the underworld. He's a bad apple, all right. I won. And all I wanted was to find a backup hero. Just in case I needed to take a break. Heroes, eh? You could have just asked. You know someone? Oh, good one. Thanks.
There.
Ooh, power boost. That's big. The underworld's right there. It's practically free real estate.
Thanks. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed it.
Who's chanting that? Who's watching?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want that puzzle piece. I even knew it was a trap. Greek myth, portals to the underworld were known as Bombios. I wonder what the etymology of that is. Poetically, this means something like center of the world, literally meaning
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, I hate it. Man. This underworld curse is really getting to me. We've got to get that Olympus Stone back fast. And I almost got up there using the combo against that one enemy, but just have to come back here and we have double jump. You're the only one that wondered, Percy Jackson, why they kept all the pieces of Chronos in just the same box. Well, I never wondered that, but then again, I've never read Percy Jackson, so...
Yeah. Yeah.
Ow! Quit stun locking me. I mean, it sounds like a perfectly cromulent idea to me. This person is a known danger to us. Let's keep it all in one place to keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Heal.
Never said it was a good idea. Phase 2 Kronos is properly terrifying. I mean, if it's his office cubicle, it's, you know, it's his place of work. He's got a job to do.
Huh? Oh, you!
After all, Kronos has several children.
Wait a sec. Roxas? Excuse me? Roxas? Oh, it's no use. Huh? What are you talking about? Let's see here. If the subject fails to respond, use aggression to liberate his true disposition. Right. Did they ever pick the wrong guy for this one?
You're bizarre. Has the instructions.
Oh, he's gotta be the thief.
Now that's just plain rude.
Dance, water, dance.
They never train the new hires, which is funny because Demix is like one of the oldest members of the organization, actually. He just doesn't know it. There is a popular fan theory that Demix is in fact what's known as the Master of Masters, who is the original Keyblade wielder and designer, and he just doesn't know it.
This is it.
Kingdom Hearts has some time travel shenanigans. He just wants to play his sitar, man. Like,
Take this. Back off. Not bad, Roxas.
I'm not Roxas.
Ooh. Roxas, come back to us.
The mid-fight text lines. Oh, just wait until we get Demix saying dance, water, dance. Peter did it! Yay! Who the heck is Roxas?
Let's go.
How much time
Dad
do you
needs our
have?
help.
Huh? Why are you just staring at us? What? Not you again? Aw, don't be like that, especially when I'm here to tell you about something even better than the Olympus Stone. Absent silhouettes, shadowy presences of those who were slain. Absent silhouette, like the title of that book? Exactly, though they come in all different shapes and sizes. The item belongs to the owner, who is now nothing more than a shadowy presence. You can still fight him, of course. And as you do, he'll slowly awaken the real you. What are you talking about? You're the hero. You figure it out. Sorry, I feel like I'm about to get played again. It's one of these lore games. I once drew a So, in college, before 3 had even come out, a friend of mine, we worked together to do a flow chart of the characters, and we ran out of space, so we had to run to the store to buy poster board to have space to do it. You'll have to save that for later. First, we need to rescue Megara. Let's go. Long story short, so when someone in this universe succumbs to the darkness, their heart becomes a heartless, the things that we're fighting. If someone has a very strong will, their body and will becomes a new person. So that guy in the black cloak that we just saw is a nobody. Sora's nobody is Roxas, because all nobodies, their name is their human name with an X added to it and then jumbled up. That's for other plot reasons I'm not going to get into, but so that's who Roxas is. He's Sora's nobody. I'll save you, Meg, but first, treasure.
There.
All nobodies, but okay, I listen here, you. I was giving the brief explanation. We did it!
Meg!
Almost there.
How would you know? FNAF one time asked me, why do the animatronics move? And I said, do we really have time? Yeah, I don't know all of the lore, but I know some.
Gee, thanks
Did you
for
assume
your
all
help.
Princesses of Heart generate a nobody?
Now have a nice day.
I don't know if the Princesses of Light can become nobody, or can become
Sora,
heartless.
behind you!
Because Kairi did not become a heartless.
What's wrong? Can't fight in the underworld?
Most
Oh,
specifically.
boo-hoo-hoo.
I think their
Better
hearts are
think
too pure for
again.
that. Well, Kairi makes a nobody, but Kairi's a very special situation. Because she lost her heart by it not becoming a heartless, but it hiding out in Sora's heart. Oh man, why do I know so much more about this series? So why can I not? I need to get a combo finisher to actually finish the boss fight. Which I have gotten a couple times now. I don't know why it hasn't triggered. And then next weekend, Goofy and Pete have a barbecue together. And they go go-karting.
There's too many.
Let's go!
Why didn't you do that from the beginning, Sora?
Sorry I'm late. Get Meg out of here. I'll meet you back at the Coliseum.
What about you?
I'm gonna show these guys what happens when they mess with a true hero.
What about the Hydra?
Now wait a sec. Cool.
Sora, I won't leave him.
You'll be okay.
Look, even Herc has his limits. He can't keep winning forever.
Then we'll go back him up.
Get Meg out of here!
I could see someone making that argument. That Bloodborne and Dark Souls are sequels to Elden Ring. Yeah, but do they have? Well, I guess it's the internet. They will find a way to make it all one. I like that Pete's weapon is bocce balls.
Let's go.
Stop it through, hero.
So is the chessboard between Arrakis and Xehanort a metaphor, or what actually happened like Soria's One Piece of a TTRPG? Yes.
This place gives me the creeps. I'll deal with you nitwits next time.
Oh!
Could today possibly get any better? This time, Wonder Breath is going down for good.
Well, if it isn't everyone's favorite hero washout, really blew it this time. No one likes a sore loser, Hades. Ah, can it, Key Boy? Then let me. No one likes a sore loser, Hades. Yeah, sticks and stones. Ah, sticks. Hey, maybe you should go check on that Hydra if you neglected to finish off. I hear things are really falling apart up there, champ. Wait! To run, but I've got another little diversion to attend to. You know, given that Y usually replaces Upsilon, does that mean that Styx should actually be pronounced Stooks?
This can't be.
Stooks?
Champ, you're safe.
I failed.
It's not your fault.
I left everyone unprotected. Hades was right. I'm just a washout.
Ah, come on, champ. I didn't train you to think like that.
Wonder Boy.
Phil's right. This is no time to beat yourself up.
I did,
I'm
in fact,
some
study
hero.
Step Creek.
Yeah.
Don't suppose you got room for one more?
We're in.
I doubt you're fighting, but, you know. Do I have to? No. Latin was the only required one at the seminary I was at, but different seminaries have different policies. I'll remove its head. That'll go great. Oh, don't you run away. You have like 1 hit point left. Oh, I didn't move it. That's why. My bad. Story matches X a lot. Sometimes Y. No, I don't mash Y. It's square and triangle.
Yeah.
It's a PlayStation controller. There's no Y button here.
Yeah.
Dark Souls. What does that do? R1, 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 R2, R1, R1, X. Yeah, I cannot get into Souls-like style games. I don't. The combat takes too long for me in my dungeons. Play more FromSoft games, Dark Souls-like, primarily been Armored Core. But wasn't the last Armored Core just like a Souls-like though? Was it like an Armored Core? Also, I did notice the Rota. So good, thank you for that. I love that in today's gospel, Jesus responds to his critic by basically saying, "Hey, let's talk about this. Let's gather. Let's talk about this." You know, there's one line in there that says that, you know, but it's a really interesting line of how we understand how Christ works with his interlocutors. Because sometimes he's also just tired. I don't want to deal with you guys right now. But, you know, this one's like, no, let's talk about it. Like very explicitly says he's called he loves Souls likes to the difference of your blood pressure. I just look at it as free blood pressure medication. We did it, chat. We got on the Hydra's back.
I let you down. I'm just... no use.
It's not your fault. Hey, even a god would be exhausted.
She's right. Give yourself a chance to rest.
There won't be any games for a while
That
anyway.
candy spin. You've been saving up for a while then, I guess.
Don't worry about Wonder Boy here. I'll look after him. Sora, Donald, Goofy, I owe you big time.
Hey, it's no big deal. Just let us know if Hades or the Heartless start acting up. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, that's what heroes are for.
When did you three make Hero?
Let's save that for another time. We have
Everyone
to hit the
doubts
road.
their hero.
Okay, don't be strangers.
Gosh, I hope you feel better soon, Hercules.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, well, take care, you guys. Stay a little longer next time. We got some serious training to catch up on.
Well, time to go. Oh, I almost forgot. The Olympus Stone.
You should talk to K-Max over on Pete Tony's channel. He says DS2 is his favorite. Heroes, Chris. Let's go. This is a big one. The longer the combo, the more damage it does.
And where is everyone else?
Beats me. They must have had some other matters to deal with.
Matters? You mean they have more important affairs to attend to than my return?
Well, see, there's this Organization 13 that keeps getting in the way.
Let those fools play their little game.
But what about that runt with the Keyblade? He's been a real pain, too.
Oh, has he? Very well, then. I suppose you'd best tell me what's happened during my absence.
We'll get to your candy spin steps here after all the
Now I
cutscenes.
wonder where that old album could be. Queen Minnie! It's horrible! Something's wrong in the hall of the cornerstone! There's real sharp thorns everywhere!
I don't know his reasoning, Alex. I just say that's what he says.
Oh, King Mickey, I wish you could hear me. The castle is in danger. We've got to do something soon. Donald? Goofy? Where are you?
It's the castle. No, I was just thinking earlier today how we hadn't had a candy spin lately, so thank you, Step Zero. It's better than the time that Map Pack, he redeemed it, and then his coworkers called him away, so he didn't see me have it. He couldn't get my opinion. So he did it again, got called away again, and made me do it a third time. That was most evil. Wheel spins by bit rate. Yeah. It'll come back. Okay, so Tahini Mango Rings. These are incredibly stale now. That is as hard as a rock.
This is your castle. Must be nice to be home, huh? Well?
It's not a very good mango flavor.
You know, something just don't feel quite right.
Yeah.
And when it's this stale, it's really hard to chew.
Minnie needs to see you. The castle's in danger. Hurry to the library.
Look, Sora, there's a lucky emblem. And now it's stuck in my key. Hey, Casey. Oh, didn't mean to ask you the... Oh, it's not a boss fight. It's more like an arena. I just have to go around and clearing it all out because there's lots of treasure to be found. And thanks for letting me know you asked the joke. I did not see the redeem go by. Casey's redeemed a father joke. You know, I think there's something in the New York sky that makes the clouds really itchy around here. You know, they're always rubbing up against the skyscrapers. Lol. Glad you liked it. Yeah, I think that's everything. Hey, that is kind of chuckle out of you. I love that fact. Although, real talk, when it is like pretty cloudy and the clouds are low, it's pretty awesome to see the skyscrapers just disappear. Second piece of armor to give to Donald, unfortunately. We have 4 AP boost. It's pretty good for Sora. Don't need Trinity Limit right now. HP is pretty good. And yeah, I'll guard back on. can't I post or see anything in Discord? It's mod only. Did you accept the rules? There should be on the rules tab. There should be a thing. You just react to it with an emoji, and after that, you'll be able to post. If that doesn't work, let me know, and I can just manually add you. Do I have to fight all these shadows? No. But you know what? They're worth 7 experience points each right now. That's pretty good. Lagged out there for a bit. I blame Twitch. Although I do see a major down spike at one point on my bit rate, though that might have been the game deal. Who knows? The internet's complicated. Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, Twin Many, we're back. You're here.
Your Royal Highness, did you happen to summon us?
Yes.
Where's the king?
Sora has no manners.
Excuse him. This is our friend Sora. Sora! The king told me all about you in his letters. He said you're a very brave young man.
So, do you know where he is?
Your Majesty, what your Heartless doing in your castle? Oh my, so those are the Heartless.
Don't worry, we'll take care of him.
I know I can count on you, Sora. Now there's something I'd like all of you to come and see. Would you please escort me to the audience chamber?
What?
If you have a magical barrier on
I
it, why aren't you
forgot
there
to warn
already?
everyone else in the castle about the danger. We must be sure they're hidden somewhere safe.
Okay, we'll go tell them.
The whole castle?
We just gotta split up, Donald.
There's only 3 other
I'll make
people
sure
in
that
the
everyone knows
castle.
what's going on.
Daisy, Chip, and Dale.
Okay, then I'll stay with the queen.
Alrighty then, see you later.
The audience chamber, right, ma'am?
Yes, Sora. Let's be on our way.
You did it! Hey, I'm glad to hear that it works. Ooh, 4 pages.
This way! This way! Yeah! This way! Yeah!
Your Majesty? Sorry, Your Majesty?
This way! This way!
I have a picture of relative Jenna Galgani. I want to post it. I'm not sure where. General chat? General chat or spiritual insights?
This way. This way. Let's go.
Just one moment. As soon as the trouble started, I made sure to seal this room.
Then why didn't you seal yourself in there?
Now then, shall we?
Love the little door. Minnie, what exactly are the limits of your powers?
I got
I think it's wiser to not ask that question.
This way. Yeah. This way. Let's go. This way. Let's go. This way. Let's go. This way. Let's go. This way. This way. Let's go.
Minerva Mouse? Yas, Queen. Yeah, quite literally, I suppose.
Let's go. Heal. This way. Let's go. This way. Let's go.
I would name a dog Minerva, I think.
This way. This way.
I think it's good.
Yes.
Good dog name.
This way. Let's go. This way.
Welcome back.
This way. This way. Let's go. This way. This way. This way. Let's go. Come on, give me a break.
I know I've played this game, but I have no recollection of any of this. But it's simple. We're going to go to the Hall of the Cornerstone, and then we're going to travel back in time. You did some writing. Okay, well, there you go.
The room below is called the Hall of the Cornerstone.
Meanwhile, nothing happens in Kingdom Hearts 3. That's
Our
not
castle
true.
has always been safe from worlds that are evil. Thanks to the Cornerstone of Light, which we keep down there.
But there's also...
The Cornerstone of Light?
This is the castle's cherished cornerstone. Oh, but look.
Oh, those thorns are moving.
The thorns. They must be the work of someone very evil. I wonder what this could mean.
Huh?
Magnificent!
No way.
Why does the corner stone not have any corners? Because it's a metaphor.
What have we here? If it isn't the wretched Keyblade holder and his pitiful lackeys.
Now you're gonna deal with me!
All in good time. I promise
No,
you'll be
actually,
able
we
to
don't ever
partake of
deal
my
with you again.
vengeance, but you must be patient.
Maybe in 4.
Just what are you doing here, Maleficent?
Ah, Queen Minnie. Radiant as always. I'm here on a property venture. I want this castle for my own. However, it's a bit too bright for what I have in mind. I suppose I'll just have to fill every room with my personal touch of darkness.
You'd better stop right now if you know what's good for you.
Ooh, how frightening. Very well, I'll stop. Just as soon as the castle belongs to me.
What a hag.
Nothing like this has ever happened before. I looked through all the records in the library, but I couldn't find a single clue.
Oh, huh? We should go ask somebody who knows lots of stuff that ain't in any book.
Merlin the Wizard! Yes, that's
How-
perfect. Merlin just might know something about this mess.
How do you
Let's
get
ask
to...
his advice.
We saw him in Hollow Bastion, right?
Yeah, let's go.
Remember? So you're reading basically a loosely connected rant of Theosis having given everything God. Saying everything that came to mind. Yeah, there you go. Stream of consciousness writing. Can be really powerful. Okay, we are going to take a commercial break. So take a moment to get up, stretch your legs, get some water, go to the restroom, do what you need to do, rotate your fluids, as Bad Roxy likes to say. Merlin does live backwards in time. Well, there you go. But yeah, so we'll be back in 3-ish minutes. Don't go away. And we are back. A new episode was added. Oh boy.
Anybody home?
Merlin!
The castle's in danger.
What is all that racket? Oh, I thought. Oh, it's you.
I thought it was Heartless.
It looks like you've learned a bit since the last time I saw you.
Really?
Wait a minute! Let's talk about the problem! It's Maleficent! She's back!
Where? Inside the castle?
Yup, and Heartless too.
Which castle?
Dear.
There's a castle here. East Castle. And imagine getting a wall of expository text from Donald.
There's Heartless in every part of the castle! The queen is in danger! What?
Perhaps I'd better just see for myself. Interesting.
What's
It
happening,
has the
Merlin?
flu.
This is not good. In fact, I'm afraid it's quite serious.
The castle.
What's that?
My boy, that is a gateway to a special world. Someone in that world is responsible for what's going on in this castle. Of that, I'm certain.
Oh, boy!
We knew we could count on you, Merlin.
Then we should go get him.
Wait a moment. The perpetrators must be stopped, of course, but there's something else to do first. Somewhere in that world, there should be another door that's identical to this one. I
Well, yeah, how
believe
will I
our
get there?
enemies are utilizing that door. As long as it remains open, the castle will be in grave danger. Listen carefully, Sora. You must find that door, and when you do, lock it with your Keyblade.
Got it.
You'll get down on us!
And now, one more thing. You're heading into a very special world. While you're there, the nature of that world may tempt you to do something dark. You must resist that temptation at all costs.
What do you mean?
You'll know soon enough. I have faith in you, my lads.
How weird could it be? Oh, I think my capture card just broke. All the color disappeared.
Look. There's the cornerstone of light.
Well, what's with this audio?
What's going on? Everything's black and white.
Oh, this is problem 1.
Deja vu?
Yeah, that's it!
Really? Have you been here before?
Hey, you! Seen any bad guys around here? Why, you oughta... Nah, I don't have time to waste on punks like you, so I guess I'll go easy on ya.
Well, there's our villain.
You're right, this is not how audio sounded back then, but... Disney Castle! I do like that when there isn't music, you can hear a like a reel from a camera going. Or from a projector. I think, yeah, Alex, I think it's implied that if the Keyblade locks something, that only another Keyblade can unlock it, but...
okay.
I mean, there's also the problem with the audio Sub-Zero that everything sounds like it's underwater. Which may have been more true depending on the quality of the speakers at the time and what was available in each individual theater, but I mean, it wasn't a guaranteed. Oh, hey, we're headed to the now public domain section. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is public domain. Didn't you know?
What's with you, squirts? You got some kind of bone to pick with me?
More than one.
Them's fighting words. Huh?
Not so fast.
What's that for? What's that for, y'all?
And here we see Sora and friends just beating up on a random citizen.
What you mugs beef with me anyway? Who are you? You new around here?
Cut the act.
Whoa!
I mean, technically he is Pete. He's just not Pete in the time they know him yet.
Doesn't seem quite right here. Are you sure you're Pete?
Well, of course I'm Pete. I'm the captain of the steamboat, so stop bothering me, see? So hit the road. I gotta go find the little runt what stole my boat.
Gosh, maybe we made a mistake.
I'm starting to think the same thing. He hasn't even called any Heartless.
Sorry we attacked you like that, Captain Pete.
Oh, yeah? Well, if you're really sorry, then go find my steamboat.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my hickey back.
Not exactly. It's not a full bootstrap paradox in this case. Because the reason Pete hates them is because he gets exiled, but that actually happens closer to Birth by Sleep, which is about 12 years before this game takes place. I thought for sure Pete was the bad guy. Oh, that would be too easy. Come on, fellas. Let's try to find that steamboat. Guess we did say we would. Hey, we've got a door to find. Oh, yeah. I don't see any doors. Huh? What's this? Yeah, it was a good guess. And not entirely off base, but also can't see a thing. Yeah, he basically annoys the entirety of Castletown and in the future from this perspective, but the past to Sora's perspective. And he gets banished from Disney Castle.
Hey, look! There's the cornerstone of light!
Now we're watching a video of us entering the level.
What's going on? Everything's black and white.
Deja vu?
Really? Have you been here before?
What was that? Heartless going out? And us coming in. What does it mean? We had one shot. Oh, hey, look, those things are back. Let's get rid of those Heartless. Then what'll we do? We'll worry about that later. Were we supposed to find a door, but then we were gonna find a boat, and now we're just here? the story of this section makes no sense. It just kind of happens.
What are they building?
Look out!
Uh-huh.
Gee, he seems kind of different somehow.
Heartless! I knew it! You really saved the day. Now, let's get those Heartless.
His kid's attention span is nil. Oh, yeah. Things used in the same sentence. Not Sora and attention span. Ooh, Leaf Racer. That's huge, actually. And off to learn. Hey, you take care, Sub-Zero.
How do you like that?
I mean, you did want the pie-eyed Mickey
Hey,
levels,
look.
so...
You absolute idiot. You've managed to fail at everything. And what's more, you foolishly thought you could take my place while I was away. Well, as of now, you're finished. Mark my words, there'll be no place for you when our time comes. Useless imbecile.
But I...
Oh, poor Pete. What? Somebody sure was angry. I don't understand. Let's just try to clear out the Heartless first. How do you not understand that that was Maleficent and Pete? This place is okay, but we've got 3 more spots to check. Lilliputian.
The town shrunk.
Or do you think maybe we got bigger?
Hey,
Por qué
look
no
at
los
the toy
dos?
cannons. What's he saying?
Heartless?
Hey, they're Heartless.
Get cannons! I hope I don't ever get canonized. Getting shot out of a cannon sounds scary. I mean, there's these Zeppelin-sized planes, and then there's the tower-sized hammers as well. It's not looking good in this town.
Man, that was weird.
Look, Sora, over there.
My sense of humor makes you both laugh and disappoints you. That's what I aim for.
Oh, for crying out loud. She didn't have to go and say that. Okay, I might have messed up every now and then, but I'm a lot more things than useless. Why, when I was starting out... Oh, I miss those good old days. What I wouldn't give to go back in time. what I wouldn't give. Huh?
I like that his crest is both monogrammed and has a cigar on it.
Hey, I think that's my...
A door? It looks familiar. Yep, it's the door Merlin magicked up. But it looks different. So it should come straight here, right? Sure, I think. Let's check it out. Well, as I say around these parts, Alex, I don't make dad jokes, I make father jokes.
Fire! Come on, he needs our help.
Why do those fireballs have symbols in them?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate these cars. These cars are like my least favorite enemy in the entire series. Because now it's invincible. I can't do anything about it. So its headlamps go out. Got the centaurs in the moon lawn level. They are obnoxious, but these just, they can wreck your day and just, they take forever to defeat. Because like, look at that, now it's just... And we failed. Can put Leaf Bracer on first. Yeah, this fire one is, I think, the least favorite of these four. Those sound of fire trucks sirens made me think my baby was crying. Oh no! Oh no, baby's not crying, I hope. Donald, why are you trying to use lightning on a fire? That sounds like a bad idea. Get an air combo, nerd. You guys are your least favorite enemy too? Let's go. Look at that. There's a sliver of mayhem room left. And that's how you put fires out. You just hit a bunch of magic autonomous cars.
Well, that takes care of that.
Hey!
So...
Fascinating. This appears to be a portal to the past.
Yeah, it was the strangest thing.
Stop gawking! And start thinking of a way we can use it to our advantage.
Okay?
Now, perhaps
way
I could
better than I
give you
remember. Well, it
one
is the
more chance to
HD
redeem yourself.
remaster.
Oh, thank you,
Also good to
thank
see
you.
Webby.
You
Hope you're
can
doing
count
well.
on me. So what do I do?
That sounded like,
my
yeah?
dear.
Yeah, well, it sounded like Alex.
What have we here? Well, if it isn't the cornerstone of light. Now we can take the castle from those fools. But
Doing
we'll have
great.
to
Hope you
proceed
are
with
also.
the
I'm doing
utmost
pretty
of
good.
care.
MCR Black Parade. That is, in fact, the high G that starts off MCR's Welcome to the Black Parade. See if the doors connect to the past. No, it comes here. Huh? That means we're in the past. Wow, it took you guys long enough. I figured it out like 2 doors ago. If we're in the past, we can change the future. Hold on, fellas. Remember what Merlin said? He's got faith in us. We have to resist temptation no matter what. I was only joking. Who wants to change the future anyway? Do I have perfect pitch? No, I'm tone deaf. So what are we gonna do? Doors, bad guys. Gosh, this makes my brain hurts. Well, we know we're on the right track. Your mere presence to change the future. Still a little ways. No. I have a button on my stream deck that does it. I just know that it's the high G. We can also blame...
The French.
He needs our help.
Nikki, why is there a singularity in your living room? I know there's not that much furniture left, but there's really not that much. Just how many heartless left?
Oh?
You don't condense mass amounts of matter and energy into an infinitely small space for a
Listen,
singularity?
Webb.
Just
On
you?
the other side
I
of
think
this
it's just you.
portal, they're about
you
to
do
begin
you.
construction on that wretched castle. But until then, their treasured cornerstone of light lies unguarded, with all of its power still contained.
The cornerstone of light?
Yes. That cursed sphere is the very thing that prevents us from entering the castle.
Oh.
You know what must be done? Go then. Time to prove your worth. And don't dare to fail me again.
I'm beginning to think that Maleficent and Pete's relationship is a little bit toxic. Just a little.
Fail her again. Let's see. That's it. I just gotta smash that cornerstone to smithereens. But first, I gotta go get my old vote back.
Priorities, honestly.
It was Pete after all.
Still, something doesn't seem right.
The Pete we met here had kind of an attitude, but he didn't seem like a bad guy.
Now that castle's as good as ours.
That's the Pete we know. Oh no! The cornerstone's gone.
They're gonna fill the castle with darkness. We gotta hurry.
Hey, hold it right there.
No way, small fry. I finally found the pipsqueak what stole my steamboat. Right, me. No, it wasn't me. I'm just somebody who looks like me.
Oh, which is it?
It is him. It's not temporally the same him. Pete is supposed to be a cat. I can see it.
Shut up. Your future's
He's
on
got
the
the
line,
whiskers.
Sally. So back off and give me the boat.
After him.
I always thought it was a dog too. I mean, to be honest.
You mugs couldn't follow me if you
Yeah, some
wanted
dogs
to.
do have whiskers.
Later, losers. You mugs couldn't follow me if you... Later, losers. I can't take anymore.
You thought Goofy was a cow. I could see that too, actually, you know, given like Horace the horse and Clarabelle cow, what they look like. I got it. Yes, Donald, good job. We get it. Goofy walking the famous philosopher Plato.
I'll show you. You mugs could follow me if you want. You mugs could follow me if you wanted.
Wait to get in the way, Donald.
I can't take.
I think Aristophanes would appreciate that image.
Yes.
You'll pay for this.
Who? Aristophanes was a contemporary of Plato and Aristotle. He was a playwright, and he did not think very highly of Plato and Socrates. There's a play of his, he was a comedic writer. There's a play in particular called The Clouds
Donald,
by
we'll come
Aristophanes,
back for it later.
wherein Plato or Socrates gets all of his wisdom by literally flying around in the clouds and listening to them. What he's listening to, and this is said quite explicitly, is their flatulence. Hey, Michael Corleone. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Argentina. Never been to Argentina.
You're still wet behind the ears.
Then try us.
Only part of South America I've been to is Peru.
What's that for?
No, he has meta abilities to change the scene. Yeah, basically that's Socrates' death. It's a little more complicated than that, but not by much. Although I think everyone should read the apology at some point. It's his monologue at his trial. It's a beautiful defense of philosophy. It's exceptionally well written. Wasn't his way of debate. I mean, he would say that it wasn't even a form of debate, it was a form of learning, because he argued that we knew everything, we just kind of forget. So by asking questions, we draw out the truth of the forms by which we are ourselves made. You know, it wasn't necessarily, he wasn't trying to make people look stupid as so much as he was looking for the full truth. So, hey, Pitoni! Welcome, Raiders. You join us. We're playing Peter's favorite game. A couple of streamers can't celebrate the Twitch streams that there are multiple Jesuses. I regret giving you that and telling you about that now. Oh, look, you're a Raider. You are indeed. Well, yeah, that's the Socratic method, is asking questions, but it's not necessarily to... all I'm saying is I don't think it's necessarily to annoy people. Did you beat the boss, Peter? Did you do it? Did you do the thing? Hey, Trekkie. Hey, Beer Fox. See you, too. Hope y'all are doing well. Also, how would a console ever stream? I have not beaten boss yet. Oh, sad.
Serves you right. Ow, 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 ow.
Do you remember this piece of time travel?
Yeah, and stay out.
It was a symptom, I'll give you that. I like how the universe manifested a door for Pete. I almost feel like it was out of
Tell
pity.
me what's been going on here? Who was that creep anyways?
Hello? That creep was you from the future. Sora, that's a secret.
Secret? What kind of
Sora has the power of binding
Oh,
Lucy.
never
Yeah, that's why
mind.
he has keys.
Sorry I put you guys through all that trouble.
His middle name is Peter. Sora Peter.
And to show you my appreciation,
Key
I'll let
person.
you pilot my
Keyman.
steamboat. Best little craft on the river. My deckhand Mickey's late anyways.
Kingdom Hearts is yelling at Be Sora. I'm here for my Kingdom Hearts lore PhD. I heard you need to understand the story. Well, you're just in time because the lecture will start shortly.
I'll bet you the castle's safe now. Guess we should head back. Donald!
They're doing the right thing. How did they move a contained magical ball of light? Magic. Sora should have whistled, but I wasn't in the public domain yet. So they couldn't get the rights.
The thorns have disappeared.
By George, the lads have accomplished their mission.
Hooray! Let's have an acorn feast to celebrate.
I think you're the only one who wants the acorns, but sure.
Welcome back. Because of your bravery,
Although, do you
the
think
castle
acorns
is
taste
safe
kinda
and
like pine
protected
nuts?
again. Thank you so much for all you've done. Good work, you guys.
Now, boys, I hope you didn't do anything reckless while you were there.
Of course not.
Kingdom Hearts has its own right. The Kingdom right. It's very complicated, and you have to wait 10
Daisy is
years between
Donald's very
liturgies.
special sweetheart.
Really?
Donald, you forgot about our date again. You'd better have a good excuse this time. But Daisy, I know it's an important mission, but you could at least check in every once in a while.
Sure.
Donald?
Just be a minute.
Going somewhere?
Of course not. Oh, look.
Yeah, Sora is not from the Final Fantasy X Disney one. That's Hollow Bastion. Sora is from his own world, which is referred to as Destiny Islands, which is also where the big bad villain Xehanort's from. Is that actually supposed to be funny? Maybe? True, but Destiny Island does have Final Fantasy characters. Nording, yeah. By watching this stream, you've agreed to be Norded.
Daisy, we need Donald for just a little longer.
How much longer?
10 years?
Well,
I'll be back soon, Daisy.
Don't you worry, Queen Minnie. We'll return.
Please tell the king that we're still looking for him.
I will. See you soon.
Think wisely.
What's up with the giant lock? Sora has to lock up the worlds after he's done visiting them. Because that'll open the next way, because plot. Oh boy, we could go to Atlantica. It's a rhythm game section. I don't believe the big bad is from Destiny Island. Yeah, he is. Xehanort's from Destiny Island. Scott celebrating the stream where Xehanort. Yeah. Hey, happy Cynic. Let's go do a wild mini game. No, Ansem is from... Yeah, Ansem is from Radiant Garden. Xehanort studied to be a Keyblade Master at Scala Calorum. But he is from... There's a very specific scene of him standing on the beach of Destiny Island saying, I hope to make it off of this world one day.
Say, what's wrong, Sonny?
Oh, I was just thinking and wondering.
You should be skedaddling out of here.
Why?
Why? Because it's Wednesday, of course.
No, it's Monday. We play RPGs on Monday.
Well then, happy Wednesday. Now, I think I shall wish everyone a happy Wednesday. No bother. Let's see now. Who is everyone?
that scene only in the mobile game? No, it's in 3.
Ouch! Wonder if Pooh's here.
Oh, help! Help! Somebody save me!
Bye, Piglet. Bye, Piglet.
Sora! Help, please!
Hold on, little guy.
I'll help you down in a moment, but first I have treasure and things to collect. Losing my mind if that groundhog is a common character. He is only in the Pooh world. And his name's Gopher. Whew, thank you, Sora. Oh, here comes Pooh Bear. Pooh, you're all right. Why, hello, it's nice to meet you. Happy Wednesday. Nice to meet you. Pooh, it's me, Piglet. Don't you remember me? And me too? We're friends. We are? Seems I can't remember. Pooh, that's very sad. Suffering Thecateth. Goodbye, Sora. Goodbye, Pooh. Piglet, you don't have to just accept your fate. Oh my, that looks rather fun, doesn't it? I say, it seems we have rather a serious predicament. Sora, would you mind going after poor Piglet? Yeah, I like how in Kingdom Hearts 1, the mini-games with Pooh are fairly grounded. Like, you know, just do a thing with Pooh. This one, it's like, nope, you're gonna fly. Of course, you're gonna collect orbs. Because if this game loves anything, it's orbs. If it's windy enough to blow these stumps up, how are the rest of the trees just standing? Remember, chat, every time there's not an orb on screen, you're supposed to ask, where are the orbs? Your PC crashed. It couldn't handle the orb.
Sora! Oh, Sora, that was frightening.
Jump down,
You need
Piglet.
to get a pondering.
I'll catch you.
All right. Have
Oh,
once to 3 times a day. That seems like a problem.
You can do it, Piglet. You just have to be brave.
Sora! All right, Sora. I'll try.
Ponder your orbs. Is that supposed to be a Hunig? Yeah, Hunig orb.
Oh, that was rather frightening. I do hope you're all right, Piglet.
Oh, Boo.
I mean, the motherboard and the CPU are kind of essential.
You really, truly remembered?
Of course, Piglet. But today, I think I shall call you my friend Piglet, who is very brave.
Me? Very brave? No, but it's easy to be brave when I have a wonderful friend like you, Pooh Bear.
I'm happy for you guys.
Oh, and thank you for rescuing my friend Piglet, somebody I don't know.
Oh.
Hunig ist süß und Geld.
Sure. Don't mention it.
Das ist Wahrheit. Okay. We also got a new form for Sora. The Wisdom form. So I want to double check. How that levels up. I'll speak German. Ein bisschen. For each Heartless defeated in Wisdom form. But it boosts your magic like crazy. So why don't we go check it out?
Give me strength.
You also get laser beams. Pew 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 pew. Now let's go do some shopping since we're here as well. I can't get that sticker. Yeah, level up. Made the decision to take German in high school because you're second generation German immigrant. I studied some German on my own because it's used in a lot of theological journals. Oh, I have to use an energy shard to do that. Okay. Also, German sounds funny. You know, you get words like Eichhörnchen. I think last time I counted, I dabbled in 8 or 9 languages. And I'm barely fluent in English. I will be doing Atlantica at some point. But we're probably gonna just save that to do as one stream on its own. Just knock it all out at the end. Because it actually gives you some good magic stuff.
Full speed ahead!
Almost their time. Hey, you take care, Alex. Hope you have a good evening. There are so many.
Watch out!
Ah! Dang it. That thing had a lot of the orbs, and I failed to get them at all. That is super disappointing. I thought it was going to attack again.
Piece of cake.
Not bad. Yeah, I know what an HP orb is.
Sure is exciting.
It is possible to take this giant one out, but I don't know if I'm strong enough yet. It requires a lot of firepower. Oh, hey, I got it. Maybe I'm thinking of another level. must be thinking of another level, because I just took out all 3 of those giant walkers, but... My revenge, it's here. I did better that time. Honestly, those, I really just vibe with music. Sorry for being so quiet during it. Are y'all ready for some questionable graphic choices?
This place is
kinda different.
You remember just liking much of the worlds? It's
Organization 13?
I think
Only one way
graphically
to
I don't
find
like
out.
this world. Gameplay-wise, I think it's fine.
There.
I don't think it's amazing, but KH2 does just play real well. Let's take a look at our puzzle pieces here. Oh, we got enough for Complete Awakening. Don't have all of Part yet. Certainly don't have enough of those later ones.
Aztec treasury?
Aye, and thanks to the curse put on it, we are neither among the living nor the dead.
Really? 'Cause you look like regular pirates to me.
Ah, but in the moonlight.
Whoa! Now I get what you were saying. Well,
Yeah, the
if
attempt
you
of
see two doofuses
near
in a brat
photorealism,
holding a keyblade,
but then,
steer
like-
clear. They got a kind of magic that don't belong in this world, see? And nobody knows what it'll do to you. especially when the moon's showing what you really are.
A match for Barbosa, you say?
Hey!
See there? I knew it. Those are the punks I was telling you about.
Who are you calling punks? It's Sora, Donald, and Goofy to you, and don't you forget it.
That we won't. And we'll engrave it on your tombstone, to be sure.
Whoa, I like your style.
Man, half of you stay here and indulge these cullies. The rest, bring me that medallion.
Aye!
Aw, we only get to stomp on a few of you?
Yeah. Yeah, the photorealism A just doesn't work, but B, then you have Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Pete all just like looking normal. I think they did it better in 3 when like they gave them
It's no use. We can't beat them.
like a wash over their models so that they blended in with the art style.
You best be saying your prayers. Hey, watch out, they can see you. Stay away from their magic. What for? Weren't you listening to me before?
Hey, Pete, thanks for the
Probably
tip.
not.
Yeah.
No, the music for this world is amazing.
Yeah.
But that's because they just used... Was it Bruckheimer who did the music for Pirates?
Yeah.
Hey, this ain't over. Pete's here. Must mean we have work to do. Yep. And that pirate captain looked pretty mean, too. I hate to see him turn into a Heartless. Well, we are here. Hey, maybe we can take a pirate ship out for a spin. Just kidding. Aren't those guys headed into town? Yeah, I think they were looking for treasure.
Where are you taking me? Let me go! Ugh! Ugh! Ugh!
Elizabeth! Stop! What are they?
Watch out!
We'll deal with them. Go, take cover.
Also, this world is so dark, it's hard to see where Heartless are. Well done. My own fencing skills are not to be ashamed of, but I've never faced foes such as these before. You really think we're that good? Did you find your friend? It was too late, but I must rescue her. When did we even meet you? Would you help me? Of course. Guess what, Donald? He's got it. Don't you know it? I am William Turner, but call me Will. Okay, Bill. No, I said Will. Right, we've got to get to the docks. Get dogged on, Heartless! Sora, how are you able to withstand those explosions at point blank range?
Yeah.
We're too late. Huh? Those pirates kidnapped Miss Swan and took her to their ship. Now they've sailed, and I'll never be able to find her.
Then
Well, not
she's
with that
long
attitude.
gone. The Black Pearl is nigh uncatchable. Best find yourself another girl, mate.
You? What are you doing aboard the Interceptor? She's off limits to civilians.
Ah, fortunate that I'm going to commandeer her then. She'll make a fine pirate ship.
A pirate?
Yar har fiddly dee, you are a
Captain
pirate.
Jack Sparrow, if you please.
Take me with you. Help me hunt down the Black Pearl and save Miss Swan. I got you out of that jail cell, Sparrow. Do this, and your debt's repaid.
You'll have to win Fair Lady's heart alone, mate. I see no profit in it for me.
Come on, Captain.
Are you sure you can sail her? All on your own?
You've a point there.
Thanks, Sparrow.
Captain Sparrow.
I'm Sora. This is Donald and Goofy.
I'm Will Turner.
That will be short for William, I imagine. No doubt name for your father, eh?
Yes.
He's got the look.
Well then, Mr. Turner,
The
you
look
get
of
us
what,
ready to
jaundice?
make way. I have some effects to liberate.
Aye, aye. But hurry!
Naturally.
You really want to be a pirate?
Of course not.
What do you make of this Will?
I don't know. We just met him.
We just met you.
I think my luck's about to change.
Yeah, we'll stick with Donald because I want to level up Wisdom form because that's how you get Glide. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
You can release me.
Hey, you know what movie came out
You have
just
your
before
trinket.
Kingdom Hearts 2?
I'm
So
of
we're
no
gonna
further
really milk
value
it?
to you.
This is no trinket, Missy. This is cursed Aztec gold. One of 882 identical pieces they delivered in a stone chest to Cortez himself.
I hardly believe in ghost stories anymore, Captain Barbosa.
That's exactly what I thought. Buried on an island of dead, what cannot be found except for those who know where it is. Find it we did. There be the chest. Inside be the gold. And we took 'em all. We spent 'em and traded 'em and fritted 'em away on drink and food and pleasurable company. The more we gave 'em away, the more we came to realize the drink would not satisfy, and food turned to ash in our mouths. We are cursed men, Miss Turner. Compelled by greed we were, but now we are consumed by it.
How very sad for you.
There is one way we can end our curse. All the scattered pieces of the Aztec gold must be gathered and restored to the stone chest. And the blood of every soul who touched a piece of the treasure must be repaid. Miss Turner, for 10 years we've searched every league of these waters, every town and village, preying on sailors and settlers alike. 881 pieces we found.
What if
but
some of the gold
despair
was
did
melted
ever find
down?
any last. All those years, you've been safe in your bed, reading your pirate stories, dreaming of adventures in the high seas. We've endured torments worse than death itself. But now, thanks to ye, we have the final piece at last. When this medallion is restored to the chest, we'll be free to roam the seas as men. No longer will we be ghosts.
And the blood that's to be repaid?
That's why there's no sense to be killing you. Yet. You see, the moonlight shows us for what we really are. We're not among the living.
This scene hit a little
so
different
we
in the
cannot
movie.
die. But neither are we dead. I've suffered too long. You'd best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. For you see, tonight, you're in one.
Oh, I catch Black Pearl, right? If so, stop moseying around and let's go. Snakes on a plane? No, we got pirates on a boat. No, get into the moonlight. The photorealism is off-putting. Yeah. And I see what they're going for, and honestly, in the PS2 era, it was kind of impressive. Why are you so fixated on that compass? It'll be she that leads us to Isla de Muerta, where Barbosa's headed. Savvy? How do you know? Ah, lad. He and I once had our eyes on a treasure, Aztec gold. 'Twas hidden on Isla de la Muerta. A turned traitor and stole my ship. So he's after that treasure then. Treasure's already his, so is the curse upon it. I have no desire for such treacherous spoils, but I will have back what's mine, the Black Pearl. You lads wait here. Young Turner and I will rescue the lady. Hey, what about us? He just told you stay there. Oh, you're to guard the ship, of course. It's a task given only to the bravest pirates. All right. Guard her well. I'm not going to attempt a Jack Sparrow voice. Shall we? I think he was just trying to fast talk us. I think he succeeded. And you fell for it. What's keeping those two? They sure are taking their time. If Pete's hanging around, there must be Heartless here too. Jack and Will aren't used to fighting Heartless. Let's go and see.
Every last piece that went astray, we have returned, save for this. And now, the blood will be repaid to free us from this curse forever.
You know, honestly, pretty horrifying implications of what happened to Will Turner Sr., but, you know.
Quick, they're after us!
We'll hold them off. Give us a sign when the ship's ready to sail.
Right. We'll light the signal fire.
We have one of those? Wow. What an advanced ship. Honestly, the hardest part about fighting these guys is your own knockback.
The signal!
Where's Jack? You know, things happen.
And now, the blood will be repaid to free us from this curse forever.
No, not yet. We wait for the opportune moment.
When it's of greatest profit to you?
May I ask you something? Have I ever given you reason not to trust me? Stay here and try not to do anything stupid.
Begun by blood undone.
I mean, in the movie, yes, but in the game,
You,
not really.
Mate, was your father William Turner?
No.
I don't understand. What's going on?
Who brought this wench to us?
She said her name was Turner. Come on. Why isn't it working? You need more blood. Get on.
You need more blood.
Hurry.
Blood. I give you lots
You
of blood.
there! The medallion! After them, you ingrates!
I had to. Jack's no fairy tale pirate. The real ones aren't to be trusted. Well, you didn't give him a chance. He's a pirate. Oh, okay. Well, that's actually a perfect place to call it for the day. A little early, but I have dinner guests tonight, believe it or not. We're celebrating, this weekend was the conversion of St. Paul, which is our patronal feast day. So we have a kind of a big celebration for a couple of days, and we always invite over various clergy from the area to dinner. So we have a bunch of guests over tonight, which will be fun. So thank you so much to everyone for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today. Working through Kingdom Hearts. I enjoy this game. It is silly, but with the plot, but it's fun nonetheless. Join us again tomorrow for more Season, A Letter to the Future for Spirituality Tuesday, Wednesday, Midweek Minecraft, and then Thursday, more Wing Commander. And I think that's it. Getting close to 400. You watched the Parish's live stream on Saturday. Hey, you guys see us? Man, we were so uncoordinated getting on the altar to renew our promise. It was kind of a mess, but anyway. Yeah, we are very close. We're 21 followers away from 400. When we reach that point, I'll do a bonus stream. Not quite sure what that's going to look like yet, but it'll happen. So yeah, so again, thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, raided. Thank you, B. Tony, for the raid. Checked out the Discord, checked out the YouTube, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And why don't we see who's live that we can raid into? I'm going to send you on over to K-Max. It's doing one of the Dragon Quest. It looks like an HD remake. Raid call will be Father Raid. Spam the meat more if you've got it. And again, thank you to everyone being here today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.